Yo, yo, yo. Happy, what is it today? What, Tuesday? Happy Tuesday. Just check the calendar. Tomorrow's CPI. Okay. Okay.
Nintendo Switch 2. Joy-Con 2 controllers that attach in a snap. And a big, vivid...
Trump is now threatening protesters, not rioters, with heavy force as we're also getting big LA protest updates and as Gavin Newsom problems getting bigger and bigger. RFK just fired an entire CDC vaccine advisory panel and why public health experts are calling it one of the darkest days in modern medical history with severe consequences incoming. Trump just made it easier for convicted felons to get their hands on deadly weapons. And why a judge just threw out Justin Baldoni's $400 million bombshell lawsuit against Blake Lively, but the legal war between them is far from over. We're talking about all that and much more on today's brand new Philip DeFranco show. You daily dive into the news, starting with this. We need to talk about these huge updates around the LA protests, starting with those Marines they deployed to the city, with Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth saying, due to increased threats to federal law enforcement officers in federal buildings, approximately 700 active duty U.S. Marines from Camp Pendleton are being deployed to Los Angeles to restore order, saying we have an obligation to defend federal law enforcement officers even if Gavin Newsom will not. But just to start with a quick correction there, for some reason Hegseth continues to say that the Marines are coming from Camp Pendleton, which is a massive base near San Diego, but in looking into it, they're actually coming from the middle of the desert out in 29 Palms. So regardless, right, other officials have added that the Marines won't have the ability to arrest people, and instead they're there just to guard federal buildings and personnel. And as of this morning, they arrived in LA and they're awaiting deployment to specific locations throughout the city. But then also, separate from the specifics, just the idea of American troops being deployed on American soil is continued to be an extremely controversial issue. Some even comparing the US now to Russia, China, North Korea, and other totalitarian regimes that regularly use troops to quell civil unrest. And with this whole situation, one thing that local law enforcement and the National Guard are probably gonna have to be dealing with are a number of looters. And that not because the protests or protesters in general are going around looting the city, but instead it ends up being part of a common pattern that we see when large-scale protests happen where people take advantage at night to cause some chaos, such as in downtown LA where you had places like the large Apple store being broken into last night. And with that, you had city officials condemning those acts with, for example, Mayor Karen Bass writing, "Let me be clear, anyone who vandalized downtown or looted stores does not care about our immigrant communities. You will be held accountable." But then also being a sentiment that was echoed by Governor Gavin Newsom online, and actually I spoke with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries about this as well, and he told me,
we can't allow bad actors to infiltrate those movements and to engage in provocations on the ground that then will delegitimize the ability of those righteous movements to persuade the American people that we need change.
But Jeffrey's also saying destruction of property is never acceptable, assaulting law enforcement officers is never acceptable, and anyone who engages in it should be held accountable. But then he also added, we also don't want to see this type of executive branch overreach where Donald Trump is perhaps trying to intentionally inflame the situation and cause more chaos on the ground than might otherwise exist. You know, that last thing that he said is a major talking point surrounding these protests. Is the Trump administration purposefully trying to make them worse? Because beyond just Jeffries making that claim, we saw Mayor Bass telling reporters yesterday,
we need to stop the raids. This should not be happening in our city. It is not warranted, and the only thing it does is contribute to chaos. This was chaos that was started at Washington, D.C.
What? That's such a bad take. We should stop the raids because of the chaos?
On Thursday, the city was peaceful. On Friday, it was not because of the...
Like, imagine, like, what kind of reasoning Trump would have in deploying any National Guard or Marines if everybody was peaceful. Like, you have the right to protest. You have the right to be against or disagree with what the immigration policy is under Trump. But imagine if all the protest was civil and peaceful. No destruction of property. No, like, blocking traffic. Just imagine how much of a better messaging that would be. Right? So let's stop the raid to prevent the chaos. That's terrible reasoning. Just don't have bad actors infiltrate your movement and cause chaos. That's it. Call out your bad apples on both sides.
Intervention of the federal government.
And notably, Newsom's been making similar claims since at least Friday when he wrote, inciting and provoking violence, creating mass chaos, militarizing cities, arresting opponents. These are the acts of a dictator, not a president. Which he then essentially restated in a reply to White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. Speaking of Miller, he's been in the trenches online defending the Trump administration's handling of all this.
That's like saying stop arresting criminals because that's going to cause chaos. What? Stop doing your job because it's going to cause chaos, man.
With, for example, him tweeting, what does Governor Newsom mean when he keeps saying the presence of ICE officers and the troops necessary to protect their lives and duties are inciting riots? He's adopting the argument of the insurrectionists. Enforcing federal immigration law in our city is not allowed and we will riot if you do. Newsom isn't trying to suppress the anti-American revolt. He's encouraging it. But then in general, the two had a lot of back and forth with Miller and other MAGA stands claiming that the protests in California and the state government's alleged lack of a response is an insurrection, which Newsom and many others said really the only people defending a modern insurrection is a lot of MAGA and Trump after he pardoned 1,500 Jan 6ers, which is also notably something Jeffries touched on in our conversation, essentially saying that this is hypocrisy or projection.
Donald Trump and the Republicans have zero credibility, zero, on the issue of law and order. We will not let them lecture America on this subject. When Donald Trump, on his first day in office, he didn't lower healthcare costs or
This is classic whataboutism. It's like just because Republican didn't follow the law and order on this particular situation, like they're talking about Gen 6, that means that they don't get the authority to enforce, every other law. That doesn't make sense. Like, sure, okay, let's assume that they did like skew things a bit with the Gen 6, but that doesn't mean the law of immigration goes away. That doesn't mean they don't get to enforce the immigration law. Okay, if you wanna be on the right side, if you wanna talk about like you're doing the right thing, it doesn't matter what the opposing side is doing. It doesn't matter if they're breaking the law. You have to stick to the law and you have to follow the law no matter what.
Lower the high cost of living as he promised on day one. And on his first day in office, he pardoned hundreds of violent felons who brutally.
This is just excuse. Like, just because Trump pardoned however many people, whether that's right or wrong, doesn't give you the excuse to do the wrong thing.
Beat police officers on January 6th. That's what he did. And now wants to turn around and lecture America as if he's standing up for law and order. Get lost. These people are phony in that regard.
Right, if you've watched yesterday and today, it's probably become clear that Newsom is consistently at the center of the story. Makes sense. He's the governor where the protests are happening, and he's kind of long been a boogeyman for conservatives. In fact, so much so that you have figures like Speaker of the House Mike Johnson saying some questionable things about it. With the most recently today being asked if Newsom should be arrested, which is a whole thing we talked about yesterday, and you had Johnson saying,
"That's not my lane. I'm not going to give you legal analysis on whether Gavin Newsom should be arrested, but he ought to be tarred and feathered. I'll say that."
But then Newsom using the opportunity to bash the GOP as a whole by claiming that it was on brand that they would want to use an 18th century punishment. And he's actually just been going off against the Trump administration and their allies. I mean, it's been pointed out that the cost of deploying troops in the National Guard is going to be enormous at around $134 million. But Newsom been using that stat to ask whether that money would be better spent on vet nutrition assistance. He also called out Republicans who claim that LA and California is full of violence and pointed out that many red states have far worse murder and violent crime rates. Also, one of the weirdest things that happened was Trump claimed that he spoke to Newsom last night, which Newsom replied, "There was no call, not even a voicemail. Americans should be alarmed that a president deploying Marines onto our streets doesn't even know who he's talking to." But then John Roberts of Fox News saying, "Here's the call log," while also, I guess, not realizing that it was from 1 o'clock in the morning on June 7th, which notably, it wasn't yesterday, it wasn't the day before yesterday, it was the day before that. So seemingly, Trump lied or confused 3 days ago with yesterday. With that also just being a small taste of the swings that Newsom's been making online. But then to go back to the protests, one of the debates that we've actually seen pop up have been about masks, specifically about whether protesters and ICE agents should be able to conceal their identities. And notably, the use of masks among officers is something that Jeffries has chimed in on, with him arguing that America is a democracy, not the Soviet Union, and he pledged to identify officers who try to hide their faces. And while you have many agreeing with that take, there's also many pushing back on it. And there you have people arguing that they're masking to protect themselves, and that includes Todd Lyons, the acting ICE director.
So a lot of agencies were invited to come out 2 weeks ago in Los Angeles where we ran an operation where ICE officers were doxxed. So let's just say that again. People are out there taking photos of the names, their faces, and posting them online with death threats to their family and themselves. So I'm sorry if people are offended by them wearing masks, but I'm not going to let my officers and agents go out there and put their lives on the line and their family on the line because people don't like what immigration enforcement is. They are wearing those masks because we ran an operation with the Secret Service where we arrested someone that was going online, taking their photos, posting their families, their kids' Instagram, their kids' Facebooks, and targeting them. So let me ask, is that the issue here, that we're just upset about the masks? Or is anyone upset with the fact that ICE officers' families were labeled terrorists?
And so I wanted to know what your reaction is to that.
Of course, anybody who unlawfully targets the families of ICE agents should be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. That's not what we're talking about in this particular instance. Does an ICE agent really need to wear a mask to snatch a 2 or 3 year old American citizen who's battling cancer away from their families and from their communities? Is that what needs to happen? That doesn't have anything to do with a...
Okay, I understand that argument, but what's the arguments against them how does it help or not help wearing the mask? Like, just because you can't identify the officer, that means he's doing something illegal? Like, he's following the law, he's enforcing the law. So just because you can't identify him doesn't really change anything. He's still following the orders of whoever his boss is. So if you have a problem with the enforcement, you take it up to the boss. You don't take it up to the officer himself. Unless he's doing something like, police brutality or something, then yes, like, we should identify him. But unless he's following the law, which is, whatever the immigration policy is, then it doesn't matter if he's masked or not masked.
A legitimate...
Same goes for the protesters. It doesn't matter if you want to peacefully protest with a mask on. That's your right. But if you start being violent, if you start breaking the law, then yes, in that case, you need to be identified so you can be held accountable. So it's like a nuance problem. It's not like mask bad, no mask good. It's not black and white like that.
Threat to the safety and security of that particular enforcement action.
And then separately, as far as whether protesters should be allowed to wear masks, you had Jeffrey saying that, that should be a decision made at the state and local level, with him then noting that he actually backs such a policy in his home state of New York. But then when it comes to ICE agents, he argued that this is a matter of safety and security, not just for the American people, but also of law enforcement officers themselves. So I'm saying, one, in terms of the Homeland Security officials who were snatching people off the streets in masks, that violates everything that we know about how law enforcement should be conducting themselves openly and honestly in the United States of America. Then he also added, two, that it sets up a very dangerous situation where you, again, allow for bad actors to potentially pretend to be or imitate Homeland Security officials. So I'm saying at some point in time, you may have a circumstance where someone actually gets kidnapped thinking that they're being apprehended by a so-called ICE agent when it turns out to be a bad actor. But then another...
Thanks for the follow, Delania J. Thanks for the follow. Welcome.
Another aspect of this whole situation is you have DHS claiming that these raids, they're to get criminals off the street. And they even had a thread that showed the huge number of criminals that were taken off the street, which is, it's sarcasm, it was like 5. Now, a number, it just fueled anger and criticism that these raids, they're targeting everyday people who are just trying to make a living to feed and house their families. Which actually brings us back around to the protest, because DHS also tried to prove that protesters were violent and chose the worst clips ever. There were people saying in the nearly 2-minute compilation there was maybe one violent moment where it looked like someone threw an object at police. Also, Customs and Border Patrol had their own proof which showed a firework going off near police. And there, fireworks have definitely been used and pointed at police on occasion during these protests, and without a doubt, fireworks can be dangerous, and please don't throw them at police. But in general, the protests have largely continued to be extremely peaceful and border on boring. Really, the only violent...
Hello, what's up? How's your night going?
that we've seen happen are in areas where protesters are confronted by ICE agents and police, which for many, it fuels the allegations that this is a manufactured crisis. And then finally, with this situation, it may end up just being the tip of the iceberg, right? Because similar protests have now popped up in cities all over the country. We're seeing, for example, NBC News counting at least 25 rallies, some that had small turnouts and others that drew hundreds or thousands. I mean, just up the California coast, there were anti-ICE protests in San Francisco drawing an estimated 9,000 people. And that came as there were already protests in the city over the weekend, which led to dozens of arrests and 2 officers reportedly getting injured. And then if you hop to the other side of the country, you had around 24 people arrested in New York City at a protest outside of Trump Tower. And with that, you had people like Florida's Republican Representative Anna Paulina Luna tweeting, "Notice how these riots never happen in red states. California can blame Trump all it wants, but this chaos is the direct result of years of soft-on-crime, pro-criminal policies. This would never happen under real law and order leadership." But, plot twist, it is also happening in red states, starting with several cities in Texas. For example, in the capital city of Austin, you had some local outlets saying the demonstrations began.
It's going good, just chilling. How about you? Yeah, same thing. Just chilling before, I go to bed. Pretty much. So I'm just like on here a few hours before bed, just wind down, chill with my cats. Pretty much it.
And peacefully, but there was eventually a standoff between protesters and the Texas Department of Public Safety, who deployed tear gas. And there you had the state's Governor Greg Abbott writing, "Between the Austin Police Department and the Texas Department of Public Safety, more than a dozen protesters were arrested in Austin. Peaceful protesting is legal, but once you cross the line, you will be arrested. Fuck around, find out." There was then also at least one person reportedly arrested in Dallas during a protest, with reports again saying that it started out peaceful, but eventually declared unlawful. And according to CBS News, a firework exploded near police officers and some people threw bottles.
Oh, did I say your name right, by the way? Delania? Just making sure.
The police. And like I said, there are dozens of protests happening all over, so this is just a small example of what we're seeing. And again, it is worth noting that a lot of these events have been peaceful. And even in cities where there were arrests, you have some officials noting that most events were peaceful. But with that, I will say we're likely going to see how crazy everything might get this weekend as groups are planning mass protests on June 14th. And so with all that, one, I'd really love to know your thoughts and reactions to the updates in the news that we're seeing. So leave those comments down below. And two, if you want to watch the full Hakeem Jeffries interview, I think it comes in at around just over 25 minutes.
Oh, you have more than one kitty? What's their names? So this is, okay, I'm not used to, this is Dennis. And I have a black cat named Steve. He's like laying down on my desk, like right here. God, I'm so bad with pointing. He's like right here. Yes, you said my name correctly. Cool. Yeah, so I have a black cat and an orange cat right here. They're just chilling with me. They just had their dinner, so their names. Oh, I'm dropping frames. I think I'm back now. Hopefully. My internet has been really bad today. I got kicked off so many times. But I think I'm back. Yeah, so I don't know if you heard me, but I was saying this is Dennis. Steve's right here. He's a black cat. Just wanted to say that again in case you missed it.
I've got a link for you in the description, and it's over on the PDS News Clips YouTube channel. And then you've got even more news we got to talk about in just a minute. But first, it is official. It is time for cold brew. And if you haven't made your own at home yet, what are you doing? Personally, I've been on this for weeks, and it tastes way better than anything I've gotten at some cafe. Plus, I'm in full control. No weird syrups or mystery milk, just pure coffee goodness made exactly how I like it. And with that, I gotta say shout out to today's sponsor, Trade Coffee, making cold brew easier than stealing the last slice of that much better. But then to shift gears from that to a very different kind of news, we gotta talk about this Justin Baldoni Blake Lively situation, because we just got a huge update. Because Baldoni, he just took a huge L in his legal battle against Lively, but understand the case is still far from over. Because yesterday you had a judge dismissing the $400 million lawsuit that Justin filed against Blake, where he accused her and her husband Ryan Reynolds of defamation and extortion. Which, to give you just enough background for those that haven't lived and breathed this story, well, Blake and Justin starred in the film It Ends With Us, which Justin also directed, with the two not walking off that set as friends, to say the least. Right in December, you had Blake filing a civil complaint, and then eventually a lawsuit where she claimed she was sexually harassed and then retaliated against during production. And then in January, you had Justin and his production company filing his lawsuit, where he accused Blake, Ryan, and their publicist of trying to destroy his career and take over control of the film. And then actually also sued the New York Times, which was the first outlet to report on Blake's allegation.
Those are cool names. Well, I named him Dennis because he's a menace. Dennis the Menace. I don't know if you know that reference. Steve is, I don't know, kind of a random name. Like, I don't know where I came up with that. It's like Steve-O, Steve. I just thought it fit him, Let me see. You'll see him when he gets up. He's like right here. If you scroll down on my channel thing, you can see pictures of them, I think. Let me make sure I'm not lying. Yeah, you can see them on one of my panels.
So then all of that brings us to yesterday, where you had a judge tossing out his complaints, ruling that the allegations that Blake made in her suit are exempt from libel claims, that Justin's assertions that Blake stole creative control of the movie, they don't count as extortion. The judge writing that the complaint did not adequately state that Blake's, quote, threats were wrongful extortion rather than legally permissible hard bargaining or renegotiation of working conditions. And a very big thing that a number of people have really missed is that the judge left the door open for Justin Scam to pursue different claims related to Blake potentially breaching her.
Yep, Dennis the Menace is exactly what I thought about. Yeah, he's a menace. He also has pica, which is like they eat non-food like fabric kind of stuff, so he can like swallow like huge strings if you don't catch him in time. So he's a bad one. He's a baddie for sure. Baddie.
Contract. But still, overall, right, this is considered a massive win for Blake, and so you had her team celebrating the news and calling the judge's decision a total victory and complete vindication, adding, as we have said from day.
I'm gonna skip this. No one cares about them.
Your thoughts in those comments down below. But then from that, next up today, we've got to talk about how over a dozen states are now desperately trying to stop Trump from giving what some people call machine guns to convicted felons in their communities. Which I know just sounds like a crazy sentence, but let me explain.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah, it's a headache for sure. One time, I had like a birthday party, and those strings from birthday balloons. He swallowed the whole thing, and he couldn't get it out, so I had to take it to the vet, get X-rays, and that was like $500. Luckily, like nothing bad happened, but just the fact that like I had to go through that. Terrible. Yeah. So I can't have any clothes laying around the floor. I can't have any towels. He'll chew through like all the towels, any kind of shirt, any kind of fabric really. And whenever I get cat toys, I have to cut off all the stringy parts, like ribbons and stuff. So it's not fun. I wish there was a cure for it, but apparently there isn't. And they don't really know what the cause is either. Oh yeah, and also he's a polydactyl, so he has seven toes on the front paws, and then 5 in the back, so he has 24. I wish I can show you, but he's like napping.
Machine guns are heavily regulated under federal law. They have been for decades. But then along came these things called bump stocks, which effectively make semi-automatic rifles more closely mirror fully automatic machine guns by bumping the rifle back and forth, rapidly pulling the trigger. We saw the carnage that it could do in the 2017 mass shooting in Las Vegas, where you would have gunmen firing over 1,000 rounds in just 11 minutes, killing 60 people.
7 toes is interesting. I mean, I don't want to complain, like only complain about my cat, but then one thing is that he's like, I don't know how to explain it. He's like he has a toe that's like imagine like he has like 2 toes like this. He has another toe that's like shorter, like this short, coming out like in between, and this claw is like weird, so that it kind of grows into his toes, so, unless it's like not cut off regularly. So there's that headache. So it just headache after headache. But he makes up for it. He's cool. I just don't want to say only bad things about my cats, but
people and wounding hundreds more. And actually, in response to that, you had President Trump banning bump stocks in 2018. But then what you saw is that in 2020, this company called Rare Breed Triggers started selling a new product they called a forced reset trigger. And like the bump stock, it effectively makes semi-automatic weapons mirror fully automatic ones by snapping the trigger forward every time it's pulled back. But then in 2022, you had the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives determining that the forced reset trigger was illegal, with them arguing that because constant finger pressure on the trigger keeps the gun firing,
he's cool. Yeah, he's cool. He's a menace, but he's cool. No, you're fine. I'm only watching this just so I can kill time, like the idea of me being on here is to talk to people, to make friends, it's not necessarily, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and watch videos. I'm just like watching videos to kill time and kill quiet time. Like eventually maybe it'll never happen, but once people start talking more, and then I'll just sit here and talk to people. That's the goal anyway. So you're good. Don't feel bad about it. How's my day? It was okay. I don't think anything crazy happened. It was super hot, so that sucked. Yeah, I don't think anything eventful happened. What about you? How's your day? Are you like East Coast or like Midwest or Pacific? What's up, Mystic Nico? Welcome back, man. It was raining all day, so you got soaked. Where does it rain? This, I guess in June. Did you miss me? Yes. You weren't here yesterday, so you were missed. You were from the Caribbean? Wow. So you're not in the States then? That's cool. No power yesterday. What happened, bro? We only have 2 seasons, so rainy season and sunny season. So is it rainy season right now? Do you get like a monsoon or something, like summer storm and stuff, and you're kind of dry in the winter? How's that? Currently entering the rainy season. Okay. So it's kind of like Korea. Korea has like a monsoon season, and during summer it gets super rainy and it gets super humid. And I don't really like that. I mean, I don't really like heat in general, but being humid and rainy and I don't like that. Kind of like an in-between because we can get a lot of rain or very little, but it still consistently rains, right? Like little, like whether it's little or a lot. So Caribbean, eh? Tell me about the Caribbean. Is it like, you know, is it like those pictures, like perfect beach, pristine beaches and vacation spots, or is it like that's only like the touristy spot and like usually the other places are normal, like normal cities and normal towns? Yes and no. I feel like it can get scary, like if you get like some kind of storm or something, like hurricanes. Like I feel like that'd be scary because like you're like always in the path almost. We hardly have cities in my country, Trinidad. We have tons of beaches and waterfalls. Okay, yeah, I assume like the cities would be like smallish, you know, it's like more of a town or more of a village size, but you know. I feel like the closest I've been like near there is like Florida or like Texas, which I'm sure is like nothing like that. So most of the tourists come for our festivals and parties. What kind of festivals do you guys have? Is there like a famous like once a year like Coachella like at your place? Like this is the festival to come to. Less clothing basically. Yeah, I'm sure that will get people to come for sure. It's called Carnival? Just Carnival? Caribbean Carnival. That's cool. So is there one every month? There are like different themes. But every year, okay. Yeah, I can see what you mean by less clothing. That's for sure. So this is the festival, eh? Wait, I hope I don't get flagged for like not safe content. Yeah, so I'm just gonna play it safe a little bit. But I get the idea for sure. That's cool. Example of the costumes? Okay. That's like the traditional costumes. That's cool. It's not just for like the festival. That's cool. I like that. Steve, are you awake? We also have paint and water parties. It's also a culture thing passed down from the slaves. Oh my god. That's crazy. That's nuts. So like I'm sorry that I'm ignorant about this. I'm not very versed in Caribbean geography. Let me see. So when you say Caribbean, like what are we talking about? This is Cayman Islands, Jamaica. I mean, you said Trinidad, so like, are we talking Trinidad? Trinidad and Tobago, okay. Whoa, it's way down here. I did not know it would be way down here. That's for sure. It's held between February and March with like parties from November leading all the way up to 2 days of carnival. Wow. So I assume from November to like around March is like the best weather for this area. Because like you said, it's like raining right now. So right now wouldn't be a good time to have festivals. Very cool. Oh, okay. So they're all Caribbean. But like they're still like separate countries, right? But you just call them collectively Caribbean. Is yeah, like you call the region Caribbean, right? Yeah. Learn something new today. The Caribbean likes to party, so around this time we just have a ton more water festivals. Okay. Okay. I guess that would go with the whole, you know, rain. Makes sense. There's like a famous festival in Korea. What is it? I think it's called Wattobam. Let's see if I can find it. Hey, there's me.
You're not gonna believe what happened.
What are these ads? I thought I'm using ad block.
So I started the biggest initiative.
God, I can just feel the heat. How humid it is. A lot of foreigners. Yeah, so it's like America where there are different states, but it's called America. We have different countries and are collectively called the Caribbean. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, so I didn't know it was like water bomb. Bomb as in like the thing that explodes, or like water bomb, which is like night. You know, water night. But I guess it's bomb. Water bomb.
Essentially is indistinguishable.
Oh, or another one. The size whatever water show. I forget what it's called. Humpuk show, yeah.
Whatever your digital.
Less clothes, yeah. Korea's like super conservative, so like whatever you saw there is like super like radical, like oh my god, she's naked kind of thing. Like you could basically say she's naked. In like relative to Korean standard. Where's the water? There we go. This is a party, that's for sure. But the thing is, like, this looks cool and everything, but like I would never go to these. Like, I don't really like people, so I don't really like crowds, gatherings, and so, but it's cool. It's cool. It's cool to look at from afar. So it's a plus and a negative. Our culture is all about body positivity, embracing your body. So that's why our nakedness is praised, I guess. That's cool. I like that. I like that. But it's interesting, like it's different from like you guys not caring about nakedness, but you guys are like actually promoting, body positivity and less clothing. Like you guys prefer that as a culture. That's interesting. Cause like I feel like America is more about neutral. It's like borderline between conservative and neutral, but usually neutral. They don't really care like what you wear, but it's never like, oh, you should embrace your body more kind of thing.
From a machine gun, even if the internal firing mechanism is semi-automatic. So Biden's DOJ took rare breach private point and dismissed members, but removing the entire panel at once was one, obviously unprecedented in November of 2023 when a massive fire broke out at the Station Hill development site.
I think it's more of a time and place thing. Outside of these events, we dress moderately, but during these events, it's next to nothing, and everyone's okay with that. But of course, depending on the event, we shield the kids from the outfits. Okay, yeah, I think that makes sense. So you're saying the festival specifically, it's for the festival. Okay. I think that's a good middle ground, That's healthy. That's a healthy culture for sure. Cause like nothing of like one thing, like too much of one thing is always bad. You gotta have the balance. We rarely have jealousy within relationships because of this, but it depends on your partner. Okay. I mean, I feel like that's a good starting point. Like sure it depends on the person, it's different. It's different person to person, but as a baseline, as a culture, like you guys are cool with that, that's a good starting point.
name is Caitlin. I am a social media specialist. Grammarly says
these are the best human moments caught on camera. This guy was cleaning the stage before a concert when everyone started cheering for him. This guy likes to give random high fives to people from really far away.
High five! Really halfway! Come on, high five! High five! Yes! Ah! Nice.
Someone lost their phone, so this guy held it up until someone came to claim it.
Anything else you'd like to know? I guess like what do you like to do for fun in Caribbean, you know? What's like the fun thing to do there?
Someone lost their phone, so this guy held it up until someone came to claim it.
This bottle is going to go into that can over there. 1, 2, 3.
This kid was out playing basketball when a random band drove by and cheered him on.
Personally, I like to go hiking or to the hidden beaches around the island. I mean, yeah, I guess if you live there, like that would be like the perfect thing to do. Because I feel like I live in like a concrete jungle, you know, so it's not like I can do that. But it's like too hot, so it's like going out on hiking is a no-go. There's also a mini coral reef in Tobago I'd like to visit. Wow. So you're like living like the vacation life like every day, pretty much. You know? That's like what people do when they go on vacation. They go to those spots. But like yours is better because like it's like a hidden. It's only spots that locals know, so it's like better. It's not tainted. It's not, you know, yeah, it's not tainted by tourists. That's cool. Now, if you ask me the same question, my answer would be that I just stay home. I don't go outside. Look at Dennis. Look at his face. I feel in that one, really? Like, I feel like no one gets me. I feel like the only reason I go outside is to, you know, buy food. That's about it. But honestly, like, if I lived in, you know, like where you live, I feel like I would explore. As long as the weather's nice, you know. For sure.
This guy likes to give out random compliments to strangers.
Excuse me, sir, can you do me a favor and maybe leave some women for the rest of us? I'm sorry. Excuse me, miss, do you by any chance work in a library? That's so crazy, because just like a book, I'm checking you out.
What? I usually get dragged to a selective amount of parties, but I mostly stay at home when I have a choice. Yeah, I guess so. I guess if you have no choice, you have to go to those parties, but I guess that's why I don't have friends, so that I don't have to be forced to do anything, that kind of thing. That line would have worked on you, really? I thought it was okay. Cause like, you know, a library, that's I don't know.
These wrestlers were in a tournament and are great friends and had to end up facing each other. So instead of wrestling, they did rock, paper, scissors to decide the winner. This delivery guy found something in the grass. Someone dropped their hat, but the crowd helped bring it back up.
Why would he come back to the camera to show it? It's weird. Wait, what?
Someone dropped their hat, but the crowd helped bring it back up.
Oh, he dropped the hat. You like corny but romantic? Yeah, I get that. Like, I feel like anybody would. I just think that that pickup line specifically was like, okay. You know, there's so many better ones.
These students were playing musical chairs when one student thought of a big brain move.
Oh my God.
Hurry up.
Oh God. Oh God.
Do you mind me asking how old I am? How old do I look? That's the question of the day. How old do I look? Chances are, whatever you guess, you might have to go a little bit up. That's my guess on what you're gonna guess. 23, 25. Yeah, you gotta go up. You gotta go way up. Hi Steve, are you awake? Hey Steve. Oh, here's Steve. Right here. You can't really see because he's black too. 29, closer, but you gotta go. You gotta still go up. But I appreciate that you think I'm 23 or 25. I appreciate that. Let's just say I was 25 in 2015. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. I was 25 in 2015. What does that make me? $35. 35, about to be 36 in 6 months. No way. I don't know. Don't like every 35 look like me, I think. No, they don't. I don't know. But I again, I appreciate that you think I'm, 23 to 25. I appreciate that. Let's just say I feel like I'm 25, so I live like I'm 25. So maybe that's showing. Maybe that's showing to other people. Am I lying? Nope, not lying. Born 1989. I don't know if you know Taylor Swift. We're the same age, okay? I'm the same age as T Swift. She was actually born like a few days after me, but yep. I mean, if you think about Taylor Swift, she doesn't look that old. She could be 25. So I feel like, we're the same. That's crazy. Yeah. I was on this earth for a while. Compared to like most people on here, I guess. You know what's funny? I streamed on Twitch probably when I was 25. I mean, I'm not saying I've been streaming for 10 years, but I tried streaming when I was like 25, 26. So that's a little fun fact. So I'm like back after like 10 years pretty much. Trying to start over. You're gonna keep your age to yourself then? Why? Are you older than me? Is that why? I mean, no pressure. You know, you don't have to tell me anything. You know. Oh, you can kind of see Steve here. He's like on the floor. You're actually turning 20 on the 28th? Wow. Wow. Young and wild. You know, you have the best life, best years ahead of you. 28th? Wow, almost your birthday, eh? Are you doing anything for your birthday?
Oh God, oh God. Oh my God. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
You're attending the Caribbean version of Coachella called Island Crashers. Okay, that's fun. Is the drinking age there 18, 19? Or is it like 21? Oh, it can't be 21. It's only the states that have stupid 21.
Oh my God. Get closer to that. Hell yes.
I unfortunately did not have a choice and was told I would be going one way. I mean, I hope you're at least going there for free, you know, if you have to go. But I'm sure we'll have a good time. Like, okay, so I turned out to be someone who wants to stay home, right? But you know, when I was like 20, 21, I was like, okay, like I want to party, I want to go to Vegas. You know, I went to Vegas for my 21st. You know, I don't really remember, but you know, I feel like when I was around that age, I was like, okay, might as well try something new, you know? I just turned out this way because I'm like, okay, I've experienced everything I needed to experience. I'm just gonna stay home with my cat. You know, that's what it is. Drinking age is 18 outside of the state household. Inside was like 5 or 6. Wow. So I guess that's kind of like Korea too. But like they wouldn't, it's like, even if you're, you know, 5 or 6, it would be like beer, right? Beer or like a sip of like something strong. But nothing like they'll let you just drink whatever. Hopefully. Yeah, it was like that. Okay, this one time, we went to Florida with my aunt and cousins, and they had a little like beer tasting place in like, I forget if it was like Disney World or like some like theme park. And my aunt, because like she's from Korea, so she's not used to the states or whatever, and she tried to give like a sip of beer to like my younger cousin, and like she got yelled at. I was like, whoa, you know, you can't even do that here. But like in every other country, it's like it's okay, you know, it's like who cares? We actually have an alcohol that is 70% alcohol. Grandparents usually give you a shot of it for the worms in your tummy. 75? Jesus. Don't drink that. There's nothing good about that. I don't know if you ever heard of Everclear. That's like, what is Everclear? What percent is it? I got Korean typing again. Oh my god, Everclear is 95. Yeah. Gross. Gross. Don't even think about trying that. Everclear, we drink that. Don't drink that. It's like you drink to have fun, okay? But Everclear isn't fun. Anything, I would say anything over 50% is stupid. You know, it's like you're just doing it for the clout. You can never outdrink a Caribbean person. I mean, I believe that. But you know, you drink to have fun. That's my motto. You know, you don't drink to die. You don't drink to get poisoned. Over 50 is our culture. God, wow. Can't do that. Dennis, cover yourself. Yeah, he's flashing you right now. I need to get this censored. You can kind of see his 7 toes. You know, it's like, I don't know if you can see it. He has like a little mitten right there. That's so cool. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. You don't get that every day. I still can't believe you're 35 though. I mean, I appreciate that you think I'm, you know, younger, but I can't lie about my age. What's scary is that like I'm gonna turn 36 soon, and then I'm like this close to 40. You know, I'm like approaching 40. Jeez, that's gonna be a big like mental like mind fuck. Wait, so if you're 20, if you're turning 20, you're born in 2025 or sorry 2005. Whew. It's not that long ago. 2005. I was in high school when you were born. How does that sound? Hey, I'm jealous of you, okay? You're the, you know, young 20, like you still have like so much like more life to live. Like that's a great place to be. So think about that, you know? Don't forget that. I'm like approaching 40, like I look 40, like oh my god. No more oppa ajashi now? Yeah, I'm like I'm the definition of ajashi. Wait, how do you know those words? How do you know oppa and ajashi? Funny story? Tell me. Let's see how funny it is.
Oh, thank Jesus.
The crowd started cheering when the horse manure cleaner guy showed up. Someone put these flyers up all over New York City, and it worked. Over 1,000 people showed up to watch a man eat a jar of cheese balls.
Eat the ball! Eat the ball! Eat the ball!
A 25-year-old pizza man was out making a delivery when he saw a house that was on fire. He ran inside and was able to save 5 children that were trapped in the house.
Are you Zavion?
Please tell me that baby's okay. Yeah, we're good. 100%? Yep, you're okay. You did good, dude. Okay.
These trick-or-treaters realized that this candy bowl was empty and decided to help out.
There's no candy! Yeah. You're rude. Don't worry. Don't worry. Come on, guys.
This guy asked...
I actually have a thing where sometimes I get obsessed or infatuated with different cultures. I had a Korean pen pal once and just started learning about the culture. Really? How do you get pen pals in 2025? I feel like everything is just internet. Pen pal's like my generation, you know, like before the internet. But you're into Korean culture right now, pretty much. So the K wave pretty much got to you as well. The Hallyu. The pen pal was was when I was younger. Okay, gotcha. You're talking about like actually like writing letters and you know, with stamps and everything, right? And this person lived in Korea. Letters and everything. Wow, that's cool. How did you guys meet? Like, how did you know how to do the whole pen pal thing? Like the address and all that. You're into K-pop from back in the days, I guess you can say. Oh, okay. I have some knowledge with K-pop. Not like recently, but like let's say 2020, like before 2020. Cuz like I worked in K-pop, you know? His family came to a trip to the Caribbean and we met at the beach. He came over and pulled my hair. We got into a fight. Turns out he was just admiring the crows. Okay. That sounds like a Korean boy to me. Just start pulling on the hair, you know? If you're interested, just start pulling on the hair. But that you know, that's interesting. That's something. My parents invited them to hang out with us and we started from there. Cool. But you guys no longer talk, as you know, did it stop? I feel like it'd be you know, that's a long time to be pen pals for. We lost contact in high school. Oh, okay. Interesting. Maybe he went to the military. Never know. Probably. But like, okay, how into are we talking about as far as like you being into K-pop? You know, how knowledgeable, how versed are you in this genre of music? But around high school time, I was making friends from all around the world. Philippines, Malaysia, Japan, but for some reason the Korea ones are all freaked out. Why? Why are they freaked out?
Ask strangers if they could hold his hand while crossing the street.
Alright, see ya.
The school bus driver had a medical issue and passed out while driving.
Oh no.
A 13-year-old student managed to stop the bus
Damn, he's a
and
giga
save the
chat.
day. The driver was taken to the hospital and made a full recovery. An ambulance was trying to move through traffic, but all these cones were in the way, so people got out of their cars to help out.
They just try to hook up with you over the phone, which is crazy. This is just the Korean ones. You know, that's what they're trying to do. I mean, are we talking about like you making friends with only guys? Or like is it mixed? Mostly, no offense. I mean, I no, you know, it doesn't matter to me, you know. It's mixed. I think you just had a bad batch. You know, I'm not saying Koreans don't do that, but I'm saying it's weird that people from other country don't do that either. You know, because like I'm sure people from other country do that too. You just found a bad patch of like Koreans.
This kid seems to be having the best day of his life.
I'm playing Fortnite too, and I got my pizza rolls are ready. I got a new girlfriend. It's amazing right now. I'm saying I'm golden.
This guy was out skiing when he stumbled upon a snowboarder that was upside down, buried deep under snow.
Hold on, I'm coming.
Jesus. Oh my God.
You okay? You okay? Can you breathe? You alright? I'm good. Okay.
He managed to dig down and save his life.
You good, dude?
This YouTuber wanted to see how strangers would react if he asked him to kiss him, but this particular instance was actually pretty wholesome.
Excuse me, what are you doing?
Have you heard about the no DAP?
I have. You're protesting against it?
Yes.
Just shut up and kiss me.
Oh.
Thank you.
Well, if you want, we have t-shirts, we have water bottles and free food.
Someone named Josh invited a bunch of other random people named Josh into a group chat. The purpose was to set up a fight to determine who is the most deserving.
Let's change the name. You have a year to prepare. Good luck.
Josh invited a bunch of other random people named Josh into a group chat. The purpose was to set up a fight to determine who is the most deserving of the name. The last Josh standing gets to keep his name, and every other Josh would need to change their name.
Seems like there's no winning in this fight.
In the end, the smallest Josh was named the winner. A program was able to take an old picture of this man's wife and bring her back to life.
She's alive.
Yeah, it brings the picture to life.
Look at that smile. Oh, God.
That's your Lola.
Oh.
That's cool.
Men are apparently very simple creatures. These people try to drink water while using a shock therapy device on their arm.
You see that sign, brother? Nice.
Why lie? I need beer. Yeah, maybe they're all from Hongdae. Oh my God, that's why. If they're from Hongdae or Itaewon, that's a red flag. I mean, I'm like talking like I know anything, but I don't. I don't know anything. I can't really I am Korean, but I can't really call myself that because I lived here. I lived in the States longer than in Korea, and you know, like Korea was like my early childhood, and the only time I went back is for the army, and that's about it, you know? So I can't really speak for them. Understandable, yeah. What's your favorite like group, K-pop group? Like, do you know Stray Kids? I'm sure you know BTS. Everyone's favorite is BTS. You love Stray Kids? I thought so. Cause before they got mega famous, you know, I'm talking like 20. When was this? This was like 2019, but like I was on tour with them. Like this is before anybody knew of Stray Kids, and I just knew that they're gonna do well because like they're super cool, super humble. You know. They're good boys. Stray Kids, BTS, 17, Monsta X, B2B, Fancy Child. Who's Fancy Child? Big Bang. Oh, you know Big Bang? They're like old school, but okay. NCT. Oh, I went on tour with 127. They're okay. They're okay. I feel like all the SM artists, they're more like, you know, I don't want to say anything bad about them, but I'm just saying like as far as like culture wise, JYP is like super cool. And yes, Woojin was there. Woojin was there. This was before Woojin got kicked out. And I even said like Woojin looked like super like masculine, super cool, you know? This was when Bangchan had blonde hair too, like curly Bangchan hair or curly blonde hair. Yeah, so we went to New Jersey, LA, Texas. I forget if it was like Houston, or I think it was Houston. But just 3 stops, because like this was like a showcase, you know, nobody really knew about them, so. But then they blew up after that, so. I got to witness Blanchan. Yes. Yes, I got to witness him in many different, like, you know, like him without makeup, him just waking up, him, you know, just every facet of him. And I was on the plane with him, you know. I was like I mean, I'm not the bodyguard, but you could say I'm like the escort, you know. I'm curious who's Fancy Child. I've never heard of him. Wait, so this is like a Zico and Crush? What? So it was like a temporary group then. I know Bermuda Triangle. Interesting. Yeah, like I didn't know, cause like Zico was like that other group. What's that group? Nili Mambo song group. And Crush only does like solo stuff. Block B, there it is. Block B. That's why I was like, okay, I don't recognize these people or this group. Oh, thanks for the follow, Love Billy O'Connell. What's up? They were back on stage together this year. Okay. Yeah. Like I said, like I don't follow them anymore because like, or I don't follow K-pop as much because I don't work for them anymore. So, well, that's cool. But yeah, like I said, I only got nice things to say about Stray Kids. So they totally deserve, you know, their success. For sure. I don't know anything about Stray Kids. It's okay. Well, you should know because they're awesome. But, you know, don't feel bad. I'm currently waiting on Monsta X to return fully. Is one of them still in the military? Is it? That's why it's not back, right? We actually did I did a video call event with Monsta X. That's the only like connection I have with them, but they're alright. There's a Monsta X album that I really like. Still trapped. That's a funny way of putting it. Let me tell you, I was in the army 10 years ago, and I had to serve longer than the kids right now. And oh my god, it's not fun. The best way to put it is it's not fun. I heard Jimin and who? Jungkook. They're out today or something. They're done. When Wano left, I was devastated. Yeah. It always sucks like if someone leaves and it's never the same with the original members. That's for sure. Wow, the is it this one? One of a kind, no limit. No, this one. I really like this album. It's RM and V they returned? Is it really? I swear I saw a live stream today that it was Jimin and Jungkook. Oh, see? 3 hours ago. Look at that. I'm on top of it. I'm on top of BTS, I guess. And Monsta X used to hate IM because he joined at the middle of the show. Really? I don't know the Monsta X lore. So, yeah, that's interesting. Interesting drama there. Mon bebe. Yep, IM always brings it up now. That he's been the golden child since then. Hyungwon. Ju Honey. Ju Honey has to be the best name ever. It's so interesting. Born in Gwangju, older brother, lived abroad. 3 years in Boston and 4 years in Israel? That's random. He used to be part of the group Nubility. He left the agency but would continue group activities. Announced that he has signed with Sony Music Korea. Man, interesting. But yeah, these two are out. Oh, so like you said, RM and V were discharged on Tuesday. Wait, isn't today Tuesday? I'm confused. Oh, it's Tuesday for Korea, which is yesterday. Today's Wednesday for Korea. Duh, get it right. And then Suga's done June 21st. Okay, so everybody's out pretty much. That's crazy. Everybody is done. I just noticed your cat. Oh yeah, so this is Dennis. Dennis the Menace. And I have another cat sitting on the floor right here called Steve. He's off camera. But we're just chilling, you know. Me and my boys. Me and my boys. Hello, Dennis. I feel like I should have a camera just for the cats. Separate camera. Do you go by your Korean name or English name? I used to have an English name, but it never stuck. I used it like briefly in college, and I was like, okay, this is lame. Mine's not even that hard to say, so I was like, whoa. So cute. Thank you. Thank you. They like compliments. They like compliments for sure. Dennis, do you want to wake up and say hi? Are you awake? Okay, what happened to the music? Not your name being lame. I feel like it's a great name. It's a great name. It's easy to say. It's not like it doesn't have like some weird like we call it Pachim, you know, like Hyungwon or something. Or like Pangchan or Bang Chan, you know? It's not hard like that. Oh wait, it's working now, I think. Which is, it's just Jiho. Jiho. You know, it's easy to say. Right? It's like simple. I feel like anybody can say that. But okay, listen, this is the trauma that I went through. Like when I was like in elementary school, like some people thought it was like a Mexican or a Spanish name, so people call me like Hijo, you know, or like some white person would say Jaiho. So I was like traumatized by that. That's why I was like, okay, I need to use an English name, just so that I don't get embarrassed like first day of school. Like I always had to correct them. So I was like, I tried the English name. I went with John, you know, nice, conservative, wholesome name. But I was like, no, that ain't me. But like, I don't even have to correct anybody anymore, so it's all good. I love how that's my last name. What is your last name? John? Yeah, I think John was a bad idea. Yeah. I mean, it's not like a random name. It's like, so the lore behind the name John is that when I went to when I lived in Korea, you know, I wanted to, well, it's not me, but my parents wanted me to learn English, right? So they put me in this, like, we call it hagwon, right? which is like a learning center, English learning center, and the teacher there named me John. This was like when I was like 6 or 7. So ever since then, I was like, if I ever have to use an English name, it would be John. So that's where it came from. But it's not that the name didn't fit me. It's just that I would rather have my actual name, because it's not, if it was like hard to pronounce, then I would understand, but it's easy. Anyone can do it. So that's how I was like, okay. Yep, John, that's what the J is for? Really? It's hard to find John as the last name. That's interesting. Because like usually it's like Johnson, you know? Or like, yeah, just Johnson or something. I look more like a Brian or Aiden. Aiden? I thought about Ryan. But that's a story for another time. Well, now that you brought up the age thing, Delania, I'm gonna call you Billy because I assume that's your name. Billy, how old do you think I look? That's the question right here. How old am I? $25 to $30. Okay. We see 25 again. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, you're closer than what Delania guessed, but it's still not right. I'm actually 18. Just kidding. I wish I looked 18. Your name's Jordan? Okay. Billy's just my favorite singer. Okay. Like Billie Eilish? Or like Billy, is it Billy O'Connell? I'm sorry that I'm ignorant about this. Who's Billy O'Connell? Wait, but then why is it Billy O'Connell? Oh, that's her actual last name? Eilish isn't? Billie Eilish, Pirate Bayard O'Connell. What? That's crazy. How is this possible? So these are all middle names? Or like... Wow. Wait, okay, so uncle is Brian Bayard. So... I'm trying to dissect her name, but I can't. So Bayard is her mom's name. O'Connell is the father. Bayard O'Connell, okay. So pirate is like just random like meme name. Be the Irish pirate. Okay. I learned a lot today. But yeah, Jordan, I'm not 25 or 30. I'm 30 something. You know, you gotta go up higher than that. Oh my god. Holy ads.
You homeless? No. This guy went to go deliver a package when he saw that the homeowner left a note saying that he has permission to jump in their pool.
What? Why would he do this?
A building was on fire, and firefighters were trying to rush over. The fire truck couldn't get through because a car was in the way, so people gathered to help move it. These fans definitely understood the assignment. A fan was doing a unique dance, so the entire arena decided to join in. This guy did a video call with his parents, but didn't tell them that he was about to skydive.
You're back, what's happening? Oh, I was just saying that you're close with the 25 to 30 thing. I'm like higher than 30. Egypt.
This biker was riding down the road when he spotted a kitten that was too scared to move.
Wow. Oh dang, you're way older than me? I feel like I'm older than most of the people on this platform, so yeah. But I appreciate that you think I'm, you know, at least 25. That's two times today I got called 25, so gotta feel good about that. Wait, where's Dennis? He's gone. I look pretty young. Thank you, I appreciate that. You know, you wanna know my secret? My secret is that you gotta live like you're 10 years younger, okay? That's all it is. So whatever age you are right now, just think you're 10 years younger and live like that. So Delania, you should live like you're 10 years old. That's gonna keep you young, okay?
So this is a pretty cool common thing that happens on beaches in Brazil. If a child is lost, people will clap together to make attention until the parent hears them and arrives. I just found out that mosh pits are super friendly.
You'll be a toddler, basically. Hey, that's alright. Better than being old like me. Do you use other socials or just Twitch? I'm streaming on Kick and YouTube. As far as like social media goes, like Instagram, I don't have any of those. I mean, okay, to be honest, I have it for like snooping on other people, you know, but I don't use it myself because there's nothing to post. I thought about maybe like starting like a cat Instagram because like I take a lot of pictures of my cats, but that's where I'm at right now. I should. Yeah. I'm thinking about it. You guys are convincing me that I should. So I'll think about it for sure. Okay, I got a message on Kick. Hey friend, I love the content you're streaming, but I can see that you need an audience watching your stream so you can start earning $24 per hour with Kick. So I can help you engage your channel to get 3,000 followers, 200 views, and many chats to partner with Kick. So hit me up on Discord. Oh man. See ya. Alright, it's almost 8 p.m. That's usually when I end the stream. But I hope I can see you both tomorrow. You know, I stream every day until I make friends at the same time, 6 p.m. Pacific. So, you know, if you guys have some free time, let's hang out again tomorrow. That's the goal. You'll be here? Awesome, awesome. Making friends one day at a time. Alright, I'm gonna end the stream now. Thanks for hanging out. It was good to meet you both. Awesome. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Tomorrow 6 p.m. okay? Pacific. Have a good night.